Hello, beautiful angels. It's Grecia Karlsson.
And Victor Karlsson.
And happy Valentine's Day. Today has been so magical. So, how do we start the day? We started with Victor surprising me with roses, which are so beautiful. I love them so much. So he surprised me with roses. Hi, Tierney. Hello. I'm so excited you're here. Happy Valentine's Day. So this morning was roses. Then after that, we headed to San Antonio. We had no plans and we thought we were going to get stuck in traffic. So we left like 4 hours ahead of time. Hi, Paula. Hi, Adelina. We left like way ahead of time. So we had a bunch of time and we were like 25 minutes away from where we were supposed to be with still like 3 hours to spare. And so then we passed a sign for the safari. And I was like, I've always wanted to go to the safari, but usually we have Ella. And today we didn't have Ella. So we went to the safari, hung out with giraffes and monkeys. And we didn't get to see the zebras, but we went live earlier. If you feel like having animal energy around you, go watch that video. It was really, really cool. We gave some advice on there as well for relationships. So that's fun. What else did we do?
Oof, we got a smoothie.
Oh yeah, we got a smoothie and then we went to get interviewed for Victor's visa stuff. So Victor's from Sweden, if you don't know that yet, and we got married last year. And so we've been like submitting like paperwork like crazy forever. We've been waiting for this day. Every day we were checking them out to see when our interview day was gonna be. And then we get the letter in the mail and it says Valentine's Day. Or like, oh well, okay, whatever. So it's pretty cool. Can you bring that? Oh, did we leave it in the car? Well, on Instagram, I actually on my Facebook story as well. It has like the pictures I added to the package. That's like all the proof that we're an actual couple, right? Because some people commit fraud. And so we had to like provide pictures and stuff, and they're like the cutest pictures. So at the end, we put a really funny picture. You guys have to see it. It's like a filter on Snapchat with our face like all blown up, and it looks really funny.
It's like the nerd filter with braces and big glasses and pimples and stuff.
It's my favorite picture of us. It's really, really funny. So we added that at the end because usually like it's really scary. I mean, so when we get there, it's like the security, right? It's kind of like the airport where they're screaming at you and like telling you to take off your shoes and like checking your purses and just like all fear tactics. So it was scary. It was scary. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm committing fraud. I'm like, why are you making me feel like I'm not, like I don't love this man? I'm like, oh my God, do I love him?
I don't know. Do I love myself? I don't know.
I know. So then we get into the interview place and I'm like super happy and I'm like, oh my gosh, because they did it on time. I was not expecting that. So it was on time. The man was wearing a pink shirt. He was younger. So I was in heaven. I'm like, awesome. Like, this is like, yeah, I was so excited because I was scared we were going to get like an older person or something that was not going to be nice.
So this guy, relate to, yeah.
For sure. So I'm sure that they never have smiling people in their summer. And he's like, why are you so happy? And I'm like, it's Valentine's Day. And he's like, oh my goodness. I was like, that's a compliment. I was like, thank you. I am really happy.
Yeah.
So then we were talking about like life coaching and stuff like that. And something that I asked our friend, our soul brother, Steve, I asked him to pray for us today because, oh, he's so powerful, so beautiful. If you don't have Steve on Facebook, please get to know him. He's amazing. He's amazing. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he's praying for us earlier, and I was like, okay, this is what I want you to pray for us about. I want it to be fun. I want it to be easy. I want it to be flowy, and just like I want to have a deep interaction with this person. Like my heart really wants to like connect with this person that works for the government or whatever. So then he says the prayer, and I know it is done. So then we go to, I talked about going to the safari. So we're in the interview, right? And long story short, at the end of the interview, we're like, he was laughing, we were laughing, I was making jokes and stuff. And Victor goes, what are you doing this weekend? He's like, I have a 4-day weekend and it's Valentine's Day and stuff. And so he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna take my wife to the safari. Have you heard of it?" And my mouth dropped. I was like, "We just came from there. Like, what are the chances that you're trying?" I'm like, "We just came
like
from there."
less than 45 minutes earlier, and that was after the whole interview. Like literally straight from
so
there.
crazy. And for me, that was just a huge sign that the universe was listening and that it wanted us to connect with this person as well. And it was so beautiful. It was the coolest thing. So I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, I mean, my hair probably still smells like giraffe. That's what I told them. I was like, "My hair." So it was really good. It was amazing. And so in a couple of days, we'll know if it's approved or not approved, or like if we need to redo it or whatever, which we should be fine.
It was funny because they were asking, I mean, they're asking these questions like, are you part of a terrorist organization? Have you ever kidnapped somebody? I'm like, no. And it's like, are you lying? Or have you lied to any of these questions? And I'm like, no. And it goes, are you lying right now? And I start laughing. I'm like, no. It's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, these questions are hilarious.
I was like, I don't know. Why are you laughing? Don't laugh.
I guess.
Oh my God, it's not hilarious.
I mean,
but yeah,
it
was a funny question at the time.
It's hilarious to me because obviously that's so far away from something that I would ever possibly conceive to do. So for someone to ask me, like, I mean, this question, it's funny to me. Like, that shouldn't be the case, but yeah. It's
so funny. I was just so grateful that worked itself out. So we did that, and then after the interview, we went to go eat at a Mongolian restaurant, which was delicious.
Still super full.
Yeah, for sure. We won't be eating for the next 3 days. Just kidding. Okay, so that, and then after that, we went to the movies to watch Alita, which is really, really awesome, in IMAX 3D. Highly recommend. It's a good movie. And then we went to the dog park, and now we're home. And now we're with you.
We sit up, and then we sat down. And then we said this.
Okay, sweet. So now, just a few tips on the best thing you can do for your relationship. So just one for me and one for Victor. So for me,
top from
the
last
best thing you can do for yourself in a relationship right now, or not for yourself, for your relationship or for the future relationship that you're trying to manifest, whatever it is that your heart desires in a future relationship. The best thing you can do for yourself is to work on yourself. And what does that mean, to work on yourself? That means to satisfy all the things that you want somebody else to satisfy. So we want somebody else to tell us that we're beautiful. You tell you that you're beautiful. You want somebody else to take out the trash. You take out the trash. You want somebody else to buy you roses. You buy you roses. So when you're doing that, you're allowing yourself the opportunity to say, you are worthy. You are worthy of roses. Why do I have to wait until something outside of me tells me that I'm worthy? Instead of me deciding I am worthy, I am enough. My heart desires this. Let me give it to myself because I'm worth it. I am enough. And I want to tell myself that I'm enough. And I want to show that, right? So when you do that, then you lose the grip that you have on like somebody, right? So it's like, well, Victor, he needs to buy me roses. He needs to tell me I'm beautiful. Like if he doesn't, who's going to do it? Well, you are the only person who can make you happy. It's a choice that we make. So if we're depending on somebody else to make us happy, we're always going to be disappointed because our mind is so different than their mind, right? Especially men and women. We're so different from each other. And so working on yourself, what does that mean? It means getting a life coach, right? So getting a life coach, somebody who has the tools to say, hey, this is why you do what you do. Now that we know we can be in acceptance, we can move forward. Here are steps that you can take, right? So easy. 30-minute call. 30-minute call and we're good. What else does it mean?
It's funny because it's true. Like,
yeah,
it's
for sure.
Funny because it's true. People who carry these big old rocks in their backpack from the past or from the possible future, or like stuff they were stressing about. But it's like, it doesn't have to be so hard. Life is the easiest thing ever. But most people don't live that way because they don't know how. But that's exactly what life is.
For sure, and that's what I did, right? Yeah. So, I mean, you guys know a bunch of my story, I'm sure, is that, Tierney, that makes my heart so happy. I love you guys. I'm so happy for you guys. I really, truly am. It's so amazing to see the growth in your relationship. It starts with you, right? Tierney can tell you all about it. She's had so much spiritual growth in the last couple of months. So it starts with you. And so for myself, what I did in order to be in this relationship is I got a life coach. I paid $5,500 when I quit my job. I had just quit my job. I had just started a new business. I had savings, and I was like, huge chunk, here's a life coach, right? I'm like, let's do it, because I believe in coaches. I mean, the best in the world have coaches. Michael Jordan had a coach, and it doesn't mean that the coach is better than Michael Jordan. It gives somebody else an opportunity to not be emotionally tied to your problems, so that we can say, hey, this is the only thing that's in your way. Let's take that away. Oh, I didn't even realize that because I was so stuck in my story. So that's what a life coach does. It's able to see from outside your issues and able to like clear the path. Okay, let's change the perspective. Let's come back to love. Let's cleanse the fears. There's so many different things that I do as a life coach, and all of it being beautiful, all of it life-changing stuff. So worth it. So worth it. Oh, I promise it's worth it. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
So work on yourself. So besides getting a life coach, which I highly recommend, obviously I have my own life coach. Also, you could do like self-help books if you want to do that. Audio books. You're a Badass is a good book for starters. If you've never read a book before, You're a Badass by Jen Sincero is a really good starter book. I would recommend. What else can you do? I mean, just start by forgiving yourself every single day. Yeah, exactly what Tierney said. Just hire me. Seriously.
Because every situation is different, too.
Exactly. That's another thing is that and so even picking one thing, I'm like, but every relationship is different. But once I get with you, like, I know exactly what you're going through, and I'm like, oh, okay, easy. Like, let's do this. And it's just so much easier when it's personalized. And that's another way to show yourself that you're worthy of love. So instead of somebody else paying for you to get a life coach, it's like, no, I'm worth it. I'm going to pay for you. Right? And so the reason why I don't do it for free anymore is because if you do it for free, it's kind of like getting advice from a tia or a tío or your mom. Like, you don't have to take that advice. It's like, oh, well, that's good advice, but I don't have to take it. And so instead, I only work with people who are ready to change, who are really, really either tired of where they're at or really excited about what can be. And so when you believe in yourself and you're ready to make a change, then it does take that investment to be like, I am worth it. Investing in yourself, oh my gosh, it raises your value, it feels, right? Because you're saying, I am worth it, I'm worth it. And then you start investing in yourself like no other. I mean, every single one of my clients, a lot of them have never invested in themselves before. I mean, a lot of them can tell you they never invested in themselves. Now they hire coaches left and right, and they buy self-love books and buy crystals, and they do so much for themselves. They love themselves so much more because they decided, I am worth it.
And there's a reason why she keeps saying investment and not a cost or a price, because it's an investment.
For sure.
And good investment comes with a return of investment. And so it's never going to be like, it's never just going to be something that you give. Like we were joking about this the other day when we were live, that the more you give, the more you receive. So here's our PayPal link, and go ahead and give us, and then that will open up your portals to be able to receive. But then also, of course, if you were to pay, then on top of just opening your flows to receive, you will also receive a coaching call. So it's like, it's an investment because you get the return. That's the most important thing. So I think sometimes it's easy, especially the first few times, to get stuck on the fact that you're paying a price. But think about the value that you get in return. It's like if I said, yeah, you're changing your life. Like it's like saying, here, I have a brand new car for you. You can have it for $200. It's like $200. That's kind of a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money for like a pen. It's a lot of money for a pen, but for a car, is it a lot of money for a car? No, it's not at all. So it's like, what's the value that you get? And yeah, that's where the power of testimonials,
I'll keep them around.
From Tierney saying, I mean, yeah, we have seen this before multiple times, that people have completely changed their lives just by having somebody look at their life from an outside perspective and say, oh yeah, I can see exactly what's missing, or what's like, what needs to be paid attention to. It's easy. It's easy.
Amazing. Thank you, hubby. So Victor's going to give his piece of advice, and then at the end, we want to do a 2-minute meditation. So stick with us so you can do that with us. So Victor's advice, mine was to lose the grip on anybody else outside of you making you happy. Do all the things you want other people to do. do it for yourself. Tell yourself you're beautiful, buy yourself roses, do all of that stuff for yourself. Then now you raise your standard. This is what I'm worth. And so you'll easily attract that version of you that will naturally buy you flowers because they want to out of the love of their heart and they see you doing it all the time. I still buy myself flowers every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I buy myself new flowers because I love flowers. So why am I going to wait for him to do it if he's going to pick the ones that I don't usually like?
Because I buy flowers for myself all the time.
But no. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Okay, no, so what I was going to talk about kind of ties together, of course, a little bit with what Grecia is saying, but the core of my best point when it comes to relationships is understanding what true love is. Most of the times, and I've been there myself, I can tell you that, is people live thinking that love has to do with attachment. And basically, a lot of people have a goal of either being completely possessed by somebody or completely possessing somebody. Like their love is completely attached. And anytime it is, it's always going to be based on a sense of need, right?
Which is
like a lack. And so what I like to call this type of love, it's not true love, it's the ego's love, your personality's love. So every time that we have these things that, oh, this needs to happen for me to feel love, or this person needs to act this way for me to love him or her, and things has to be a certain way in order for me to feel love. And if it's not, it's terrible, right? And so that's also why the ego's love, well, a good indication why the ego's love is not true love is that it can immediately snap into hate or anger or jealousy or whatever. It's because it's attached. Like, for example, if somebody, well, what's a good example? So a common analogy used for attached love versus non-attached love is like the bird in the cage. If the bird actually loves you and you love the bird, you would let the bird go. You will open the cage and let the bird be the bird. And if he loves you back, it'll stay. And that it's as easy as that. If it leaves, it wasn't meant to be. Super simple. And so what I was gonna get to is the ego's love always has an underlying sense of need. And this is also like the reason why it can so easily snap to anger and hate and fear and sadness is because all the ego's love, all these like things that we try to hold on to, think of them as like a little patch. A bandage on top of your heart. And anytime it gets ripped off, like, oh, I need my mom to say or to call me once a week for me to feel loved. She didn't call me this week, this bandage just got ripped off. And it leaves an empty gap in your heart. And that's why it hurts so much. And so we can bandage up this broken heart all we want, but as soon as the band-aid gets ripped off, it exposes this empty heart. And so that's like, do you want to solve the symptom, or do you want to solve the real problem? And that's where what Grecia is just talking about is loving yourself and filling up your heart from the inside. That's the only cure. That's the only way for you not to have these patches anymore. Because then you can have these little things on top, but if they get ripped off and you have a whole heart, it's cool. All right. Well, if the bird flew away, I guess it wasn't meant to be. I'm happy for the bird because now it's free. So that makes me happy, and that's true love. So that's what my absolute biggest tip is, to understand that true love is complete non-attachment. It's just being, complete being, and loving people for who they are, and loving yourself just simply by being yourself. That's the absolute best thing you can do. If you want something, if you have a desire, you go get it. Just reach out and grab it. It's right there. Life is right in front of your face. Just go get it. Super, super simple. And anytime we feel like, oh, we need to do this and then feel happy, that's a bandage. Rip it off and fill it up with love, for self-love, instead of trying to cover up these holes. It's not gonna.
How do you do that? Is you say, I am enough. I am enough because I am. That's it. I am. So you can really feel, what does it feel like to be enough as you are right now? And so that's a little bit difficult for most people, because a lot of us were raised to believe that we're sinners and that we're never enough and we're never enough. And so that thought process makes us feel like we're not enough. We're never, ever enough. And so if we don't feel like we're enough, then that means that, or the meaning we put behind it is that if we're not enough, then we won't be loved, right? And so we're not worthy of being loved. So how can anybody love me? So why I shouldn't love myself, because nobody can love me because I'm not enough, because I'm a sinner. So there's a lot of like trauma behind this based on our beliefs growing up and stuff like that. So again, life coach, duh. I was like, life coach, duh, because I've healed it through myself, and there's beautiful ways to do this, to what I focus on is practical psychology with spirituality. So it's a mix of both, a powerful blend of practical psychology and spirituality together. So you're getting to know yourself on a psychological level, but also on a spiritual level, to where you're trusting that everything is happening for a reason. It's bigger than you, right? Bigger than our small minds can even fathom, right? The things that create the planets, or the universe, that the entire universe and everything, the air that we're breathing, the nothingness that is everything. The air that we breathe, the nothingness that is everything, the space between the planets, like all of that, it's there for you. It's not happening to you. It's always happening for you. It has your back. So that's a lot of
another analogy I want to say that Grecia always uses that really puts it in perspective. If you feel like you are not enough, if you whether you're religious or spiritual or not, let's just say that there is a bigger something, right? Like we all come from some place, and that is pure love. Just like sidetrack to explain the difference between love and fear. Same thing is just like with the light and darkness, right? Like if there's a dark room and you bring light into the room, the room lights up. But you can't bring darkness into a bright room and expect it to be dark. Like that doesn't happen. So darkness is just the lack of light, just as fear is the lack of love. So then if you don't feel like you love yourself, to help you put that in perspective is, you always talk about like if God is an ocean, right? You take a glass and you dip it in the ocean. Now, does the water inside the glass cease to be the ocean? No, it's still the same water. It's just uniquely expressed. That's exactly the same as us, all human beings. You are not your body. You are not your thoughts. You are the soul that lives in you. You're the intelligence in your entire body, not just in your brain. Your whole body has an intelligence. Like all your cells have the intelligence. It's just like you just get the signals from your brain. So like science, as it is today, or has been at least in the past, it's very focused on how like the brain is the intelligence, but intelligence is really in your entire body. Yeah, like the brain doesn't heal the cuts that we have. The body heals itself. There's an intelligence behind the body, like the cut becoming a scar or whatever. Yeah, like there's an intelligence in each individual cell. It's a single part of you, just like every single part of the entire universe. The intelligence is there. It's just what makes you you is that it's uniquely expressed in your bubble. It's not even just your body. Like we can feel, we have intuition to where we can even sense things from outside of ourselves. Like we've all sat in a classroom, all of a sudden we feel like someone's looking at us, right? We look back and someone's staring right in your face. Like it's an intuitive sense that we all have. It's a sixth sense that we're taught not to believe, but it's there. It's all there. For sure. So that's a lot of Deepak Chopra stuff that we read a lot of. So if you want more information on that, we'll get to that for sure. But for now, we'll stick with this Valentine's Day one. Like, amazing. Okay, so lose attachment, pretty much. True love coming from the heart space. True unconditional love. So if you say, in order for me to love Victor, he needs to meet X, Y, Z. That's conditional love. That's holding on to expectations of what should be, versus just like me, where I accept him exactly as he is, whatever he decides, whatever he does. That's unconditional love, right? And so okay, amazing.
So yeah, guys, we talked a lot about life coaching today. And yesterday I did a video where I said, I was joking around and I was like, oh yeah, like give me $100 and I'll give you an hour of coaching. And so that was wrong. I mean, usually I charge $200 for the hour, but since I said it yesterday and some people were messaging me about it, I'm gonna honor that for the next 6 days. So it started yesterday. So for a week, I'm gonna honor $100 for an hour of coaching, which is like amazing. You should definitely do it. So
discount, that's pretty good.
For sure. And I still have 2 more spots open for 31 days, making happiness a habit with Grecia Karlsson life coach. So it's 31 days of morning and night routine check-ins with me where we cleanse fears into faith. We create new habits that actually make us be more aware of our thoughts so that we're choosing love in every moment. And after 31 days, it's a new habit. You don't need me anymore. You can go fly away. No, but it really is like life transforming. I mean, just 1 hour is amazing, but of course, 31 days, I mean, you're talking like Grecia afterwards. Seriously, like you're changing the world.
You'll have Grecia Karlsson as your best friend, literally, right
For
there.
sure. It's so fun.
Talk to all day.
It's the best.
Super duper amazing. Yeah, the
amazing.
results we've seen are crazy.
It's so fun. So yeah, I have 2 more spots open for that. So those are the 2 things. The last thing I want to do is 2 minutes of stillness with you guys. So it's been a lot of mind chatter, but really allowing this to integrate within you, all of the things that we talked about today and just the love that we feel today, the vibrations of love in the air today from everybody celebrating love today. So we're doing, 11/11, of course. Okay, I'll just show that for proof. 11/11. Okay, sweet. Let's do 2 minutes. And all you have to do for the 2 minutes is either you can listen to the stillness or like the silence between the noise. If you hear like a baby crying in the background, listen to the silence that allows that sound to even be in existence, right? So you're like, whoa, silence is the loudest sound in the universe. So listen to the silence. You can focus on your breath, right? Count how many breaths you're taking within 2 minutes. And if you lose count, it doesn't matter, like whatever. It's not about shutting off your mind. So it's important to remember that your chatterbox mind will continue to talk. It's about pre-deciding that, okay, for 2 minutes, I'll let the mind do whatever it wants to do. I'm going to be the observer of the thoughts. I'm just going to witness them without judging them, without being mad at myself. I'm just going to witness them for a little bit, right? So for 2 minutes, you get to witness them. Anytime you get lost in thought or whatever, come back to your breath, right? So how cold is it going in? How warm is it coming out? Yeah, whatever feels good for you. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but 2 minutes of stillness really does make all the difference. So I'm going to put a timer on and we can start now. Oh my gosh, it totally scared me. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I feel so peaceful and loving, and I just feel a lot of love in my heart. So if you guys want more love in your heart, Peace of Love crystals, we have some. Victor has some citrine for happiness, abundance, success, and joy. And rose quartz is for love, unconditional love, self-love, whatever type of love that you need to help you on your beautiful life journey. We love you guys so much. Let us know if you have any questions at all. I hope you've enjoyed our energy today. We're sending you so much love. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
We'll talk to you later.